Okay, thank you everyone for joining us. Last night we talked about it. I want to make sure that the thing that was still not clear to me, I hope I did not mess it up, is Master Shenhua talked about how the Buddha is for himself, Dharma for himself, Sangha is for himself. Dharma for itself, or Sangha for himself. And he explained it through the self-nature. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. But I find it from a Western logic perspective, it's kind of awkward. So I offer to you that Buddha is for himself, Dharma is for itself, Sangha is for himself, because it's about being true to yourself. You are not influenced by people who bring you tea, who make offerings to you as a Sangha. You are not influenced by the fact you're hungry and thirsty. What happened to a thirsty girl? Oh, okay. Okay? So you maintain your integrity as a Sangha. That's why you don't worry about what others think of you. All right? That's a Sangha for himself. The Buddha for himself, of course, Buddha is the truest as you can be. We are all aspiring to be as true as he is. He's 100% true. Well, we are at best 90%, okay, or lower. And the Sangha is for itself because the Sangha is very unique in a sense. The Sangha is really for the sake of helping us, helping each individual, and therefore it doesn't compromise either. It doesn't try to impress you, doesn't try to overdo it, okay? It's only enough to do its work. What do you think? Okay. Then you agree. Very good. Next section. Is the next section or not yet? 309?
Yeah, the audio will start on 319.
319. Okay, let me continue then. Next section, the Platform Sutra, 6 arc. So this is, we talked about this too. The 6 arc is very famous, very popular, because I think he's the first one in the history of the Chinese Sangha where he could explain the Dharma in such simple terms. Before that, the monks and nuns would use a lot of jargon, and not many Buddhist disciples understand. Okay. Yeah, the Buddhist disciples hear of the self-nature, hear of the 6 paramitas and so forth. It's important to repeat the jargons, but the 6 patriarch is the one who started to use simple terms, because certain teaching doesn't require a lot of jargons, and it's a special form of teaching that is not reliant upon the Buddhist terminology. Okay, so he's the first one to demonstrate that, and so I feel that he sets the standards for us. And as I said repeatedly, Master Shenhua is the only monk I know of recent memory. Even the latest, the patriarchs I know about. They are not as skilled as using simple words like Master Shenhua. Master Shenhua is not the same level as 6 patriarch, of course. 6 patriarch is like the master at it. Okay, but Master Shenhua is the only one I know of. I've noticed that can help most people understand. Okay, and that requires skill. It requires, you need to have true wisdom in order to simplify. He's able to take very complicated concepts and explain it in very simple terms for most people at various levels. Okay, so this the 6 patriarchs is very famous among the Westerners as well, because people love Master Hsuan Hua's the translation of Master Hsuan Hua's explanation of the 6 patriarchs, which is outstanding itself. He says, take refuge your own Buddha, okay, and others take refuge, you don't say take refuge, others take refuge with the Buddha, okay. Take refuge of the Sangha of self-nature, Dharma of self-nature, and so forth. And again, I feel that this is a little bit too Chinese for me. It's not clear to explain it this way. How can you explain to someone who's new to Buddhism to tell him that the self-nature takes refuge with the Buddha and you yourself take refuge with the Dharma? Okay, the concept is correct. The self-nature takes refuge with the Buddha. Okay, however, I abhor using words, saying things that cause problems for you in terms of misinterpretation, because I know that most of you don't understand what the self-nature is. Okay? I'd say it once. Yes, you have a self-nature, but I don't want to use this concept of self-nature as take refuge to the Buddha and so forth. It's kind of difficult for me as a Western educated person to swallow it. I don't know about you. I speak from personal experience. When I first read it, I said, oh, I don't understand this. The 6 Patriarch Sutra. I couldn't understand it. Okay, and it stuck with me for many, many years. Okay, and so when it's my turn to teach, I try to avoid causing that kind of problems for you, because it's weighted heavily on my mind for a long, long time. Okay, so this is the 3 refuges that we teach in Buddhism is actually like in the ceremony, your self-nature takes refuge to the Buddha, your self-nature takes refuge to the Dharma, the self-refuge takes refuge with the Sangha, meaning that we're not interested in you taking refuge with us at all. There's no real desire for us as Sanghas that we should hope you take refuge with us. Okay? Because it's your self-nature that we're after, not after you. It's the money of your self-nature we're after, not the money of yourself. Because your self-nature is much richer than you yourself. So we're after the money of your self-nature. You're thinking big, guys. It's not small like you. Okay? And so that's why the beautiful thing about 3 refuges is that it's your self-nature that takes refuge to the Buddha, your self-nature takes refuge to the Dharma, your self-nature takes refuge to the Sangha. Okay? And you, when you do that, you're simply facilitating that process. That's why it's this wonderful thing beyond your comprehension. And somehow, when it percolates down to my era, we do, how many disciples do you have? I have 2,000. How about you? Okay? And so this process here, when we teach you about the 3 refuges, is about teaching you to get in touch with your self-nature, to do big things like taking refuge with the triple jewel, the best way to do it is through your self-nature, whatever it is. Okay? So you're learning about how to open your mind into wonderful possibilities. You're not impressed? Okay. I work on it some more. When I first started, I thought it's me taking refuge. I thought it's me who I take refuge with the Buddha, I take refuge with the Dharma, I take refuge with the Sangha. Okay? Actually, it's because of the poor translation to English. That's why I was confused. The Dharma is actually 智慧一佛. There's no sing here. When you look at the Chinese, okay? Chinese, 德归一佛. So, 智归一佛, 德归一佛. Okay? So it means that your self-nature takes refuge with the Buddha, not you. Should I drop it? It's a cool thing. And that's what the translation is. Shoddy, you asked me. I was confused because the English says, I take refuge with the Buddha, I take refuge with the Sangha. Actually, it's my self-nature takes refuge with the Buddha, my self-nature takes refuge with the Sangha, and so forth. Okay? So therefore, we don't really need you that much. We only need your self-nature. I see it doesn't help. Okay, let me work on that some more. The principle of the infinite and inexhaustible, we talk about a small part of it, of course. It's so vast. Now, I tell you, there's so much that we want to tell you, but we can't because it's not good for you. There's so much we cannot even, whatever we put down on paper, what the patriarchs explain to you, what the Chan analects explain to you, is a tiny portion. And yet, Vietnamese people they read a lot of Chan material and say, now I understand Chan. Give me a break. You don't. Yes, you too.
Thank you, Master. Diego Alfonso has some comments. Amitabha Master, when we see it this way, it's beautiful because it's our true nature who takes refuge, which means it's forever and not only this lifetime. So we will always be protected.
It sounds better than my version. Okay. It doesn't? You're biased. You're so Vietnam. Two.
I think it doesn't imply that forever, because if
it doesn't.
It doesn't imply, like Diego Alfonso said, that the self-nature will take refuge to the Buddha forever, or lifetime after lifetime. Because if it's like that, then you have to say that lifetime after lifetime until you become a Buddha.
He disagrees with you, Diego. How about you, old Abbot? What do you think? Is it lifetime after lifetime? It sounds good to me.
But it's not.
A Di Đà Phật.
When there's a
Con nghĩ
ceremony,
cái tự y Phật
that
mà
should
quy
be
tánh
lit.
á,
The light should be lit.
Là người ta nói cái tối thượng thừa, cái mục tiêu tối thượng tất cả chúng sanh mình phải tới cái mức đó đó. Mình tu làm thế nào không biết, tăng hay là Phật tử không biết, bất cứ chúng sanh nào, cõi nào, tối thượng thừa là phải thấy được cái bổn tánh đó, như Lục Tổ nói đó. Bây giờ mình không biết, mình làm không được, thì 100 năm sau, 100 kiếp sau mình phải làm được. Cho nên mới có cái nguyện là tự quy y Phật. Quy y Phật là gì? Quy y cái Phật tánh Thầy mới nói đó. Thì như cái Ngài Hà Trạch đó là tiếp nối Ngài Huệ Năng đó, Ngài nói rất đơn giản. Khi mình không nghĩ cái gì hết đó, cái mô minh đó đó là tự tánh của mình chứ ở đâu nữa. Cái mô minh mà mình không có nghĩ gì hết thì cái tâm quý vị đó là thấu suốt trời xanh vạn pháp trong đó. Cái mà Ngài Huệ Năng không ngờ tâm mình có tất cả, tâm mình chứa tất cả. Sau khi được Lục Tổ mà dạy rồi, Ngài ngộ được cái đó mới vào y bác. Thì người Phật tử mình tu cỡ nào không biết, thì Đức Phật dạy mình phải tới cái mục tiêu đó đó. Cho nên có lần Thầy giảng, Thầy biểu ngồi kiết già, thì trong kinh cũng có nói, không biết kinh nào con có đọc lâu rồi. Khi quý vị ngồi kiết già đó, một phút, một moment nào đó, quý vị nhập định trong một tích tắc thôi, không suy nghĩ gì hết. Cái giây phút đó phước báo vô lượng vô biên, không có phước nào hơn cái giây phút mà không có ý nghĩ khởi lên. Mới nói một câu là quy y tròn một niệm dứt sạch nghiệp 3 kỳ. Trong một niệm tích tắc nó quy y được, nó dứt sạch nghiệp trong 3 A tăng kỳ kiếp của mình, trong cái mô minh đó thôi chứ không phải cả đời mình. Nếu mình kéo dài thì tốt. Còn như Thầy nói hôm qua, nó Đức Phật là 24 mà hàng trăm năm, hàng triệu kiếp Đức Phật trong cái đó luôn. Mình sơ cơ mình chỉ mô minh thôi. Người nào dài lắm 2 phút, 3 phút, 5 phút, rồi trở lại sân si là cái nghiệp cũ mình nó còn. Thành tựu quý y là mình trở về cái bản tánh đó của mình đó, chứ không có ở đâu đem vô hết. Thì một vị thiền sư hỏi Ngài Hà Trạch, có pháp nào để vô đó không? Ngài Hà Trạch nó đâu có gì đâu, lúc ông không nghĩ gì hết là nó đó. Ông có sẵn như vậy đó, tự tánh của ông nó sẵn như vậy đó, đâu có ai đem vô. Tại hàng ngày ông suy nghĩ lung tung, ông theo cái đó, ông ráng ông chịu. Khi ông không nghĩ được hết là ông đó, là Phật mười phương đó, cái tự tánh đó. Thì mình làm sao để mình vô đó? Thì Phật dạy mình giữ giới, niệm Phật, trì chú, làm lành. Tất cả những cái đó đưa đẩy mình vô cái diện đó, lâu hay mau, tùy theo mình sám hối hết, sớm hay muộn mình làm được nhanh hay không. Thì mục tiêu tối thượng của tất cả Phật tử mình phải làm là về được cái đó. Cho nên mới có câu là tự quy y Phật, quy y cái đó đó. Xin hết.
Hello, Amitabha Master. So, the 自归依佛, 自归依法 is like we take refuge and we wanted to get to the highest, the most supreme vehicle. This is our purpose, our goal, that we somehow will get there. So any living being, disregard where you're from, wherever you are, you might want to get to the point where your self-nature can take refuge. Right now, when Venerable Huineng said that, at this lifetime, you might not be able to do so, but your goal is there. Probably will take 100 lifetime later, but you still get there. You're gonna get there, and this is the goal. So 自归依佛 is that your self-nature take refuge with the Buddha, just like Venerable Hacha saying that at the moment where there's no thought arise, then you can penetrate through the heaven. So like the sixth patriarch saying that when he attained enlightenment, he said, originally our mind contained all of the Dharma. So at that moment, when the fifth patriarch knows that Venerable Huineng is not there, that's he transmit and give him the bowl and the sash. Therefore, just like Master said many times ago that during the lecture, I've heard you say when we sit in meditation, cross our legs, and within one moment, just one moment that we are able to enter samadhi, at that time we don't have any thought arise, then you're going to create a lot of blessings, but only for that moment. Taking refuge with one single instant, with one single thought, that we can get rid of the karmic offenses in the 3 asamkaya. That is true, but only for that moment. If you can sustain that thought, sustain that moment for long, that is very good. The Buddha is 24/24. But we ourselves is only 2 to 3 minutes, but then we go back to a normal state, and we come back, and then we get our karma turn us, and we become angry again. So, all in all, I say our purpose, the most foremost, is to be able to take refuge. To Quy for is our self-nature can take refuge with the Buddha. That's all.
Master Z, is he there? What do you think? What's your opinion?
Master, when Master explained that our self nature take refuge with Buddha, I think that our self nature follow the Buddha, that follow the wisdom of the Buddha, so we have the ability to shut off our stupidity and ignorance.
Not bad. How about you, the woman? What's your opinion?
I think
Don't
it's,
say I don't know.
I think it's both. It's before we're aware that of our self-nature, that we're also taking refuge with the Buddhas. But our self-nature also takes refuge with the Buddha.
That's correct. You too.
Thank you, Master. Diego has additional comments. I respectfully disagree with, I guess it was with Yong.
Yeah,
We
the
are
Republicans,
talking
they
about
think
true
differently.
nature. We are talking about our true nature, which is permanent, which means that refuge is permanent. Unless we willingly decide to stop being protected by the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. If I remember correctly, Master once said we can renounce it. So I guess that will be the only case. And life after life, we renew that vow, so we plant more and more seeds. Thank you.
Okay. Would you like to reply?
Amitabha, if you said you take your self-nature, take refuge to the Buddha, to the Sangha, to the Dhamma, to the Sangha, and wish that will be forever, then good luck. But as I recall that when we take the Bodhisattva vow, that we said that our self-nature take the Bodhisattva vow for this lifetime and the next lifetime until we become a Buddha. So that precept will follow us after we get rid of this body. And if you mean that, then you have to say that instead of saying that the self-nature and hope or imply that we will be with you forever. If you mean it, then you have to say that. Have to do forever, then it will be stronger.
Okay, Wei Mao, let's continue.
Hello, Master. This is Ahong. I respectfully disagree with Yong because in the refuge ceremony, we saying that taking refuge with the Buddha, I vow that life after life, I shall not take refuge with externalists. So is Dharma taking refuge with the Dharma, I shall life after life, that I shall not take refuge with the externalist teaching, and so on. So within the verse of the taking refuge transmission, we already say that I vow that life after life I will take refuge with the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. So if we get to the gist of it, it should be forever until we renounce it. Second, I have a question is because in the tree refuge, is actually saying that to Gui for is we taking refuge with the Buddha of our self-nature. Right here, as it is explained that our self-nature taking refuge with the Buddha. So one is become subject, the other become object. It's interchange. So I'm confused about this point.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I can't explain it to you. Either you get it or you don't. I'm not willing to explain it to you, because if I explain it to you, it's part of the things that we don't explain to you, so that you're more humble. When we listen to you, we know where you are. It's only so much you can understand. So that's why we intentionally withhold telling you more than you know. And so we really don't want you to know too much, as I said earlier. Okay? And so you, Sanghas, have to pay attention. All of you, abbots or not, you should pay attention to this, because you still have a lot to learn. Be careful. Okay, there's so much more than you think you read from the books, and it's not the way that it sounds. Okay? I know I'm not helping, but I want you to keep an open mind that there's a lot more that we prefer not to tell you. Okay? So this will help us spot people who are faking it, simply bookworms, and they repeat things they read from the books. Okay? Because when I ask you a question, I listen to your answer, it tells me where you are. And then, that's why you explain that way. That's why she says it that way, and so forth. Okay? And so it's a lot more that we would holding from you intentionally for your own good. Okay? All right, so it's okay to talk and talk and talk up to a certain point, but if you keep on debating day and night, that's when it becomes stupidity. Stupid Buddhism. Okay? Because you can argue all you want. You can argue with me, I give you another reason, you can argue with me, back and forth. It could take forever, because Buddhism has so many different aspects of it. Okay? Different sutras, from a Hinayana Sutra perspective, you can quote them and you say, this doesn't make sense. Then you quote the Vaipulya Sutra and you say, this is what it says, therefore I'm right and you're wrong. And then the other guy said, but Prajna teaching, it says so and so, therefore I'm right, you're the one who's wrong. And then I come in and say, Dharma Flower Sutra and Nirvana Sutra says so and so, and therefore you're all wrong. And then Master Shua comes in and Yonghua, you're an idiot. Avatamsaka Sutra says differently. You see, it's on and on and on and on. So that's why to debate it is useless. The bottom line is whether you get it or not. So I see, look at you. Can you get it? You don't get it. Okay? And then we try to help you, bring you there. It's not talk. Okay? And as for you, abbots, future teachers, it's not just talking. It's about not just any kind of talk. Sometimes you have to tell your students things that are unpleasant, things that they cannot see themselves, and they will get in trouble at the expense of you quitting, of you rebelling, of you criticizing us. And the sixth patriarch is the one monk that I admire for that reason. There's nothing in his teachings that showed that he's afraid to lose his disciple. Nothing. Think about it. Because nowadays, Buddhist disciples come to the temple and say, are you going to be nice to me? Because if not, I'm out of here. If you have that kind of fear, you cannot teach. You only teach losers. Because you hang on to them. Okay? I will provide for you. I will provide for your future generation so that you don't have to worry about losing disciples. Okay? We want to go with the great depth. And there are plenty of people who are capable of doing that if we train them properly. And it requires us not being afraid to throw them out or encourage them to leave. Got that? Okay. There's a lot of it going on, and infinite principles. See, I told you, it's not infinite principles, it's lots of things that we choose not to tell you because it doesn't help you. It doesn't help you at all. It's garbage. If we tell you something that doesn't help you make progress, from my perspective, I'm wasting my saliva. I'm too old to do it. Okay? Let me tell you about a joke I told yesterday again. How was that joke? Novice monk, he liked reading this magazine, he liked speech. Okay? Typical bookworm. Okay? This is what is interestingly, this is what most people who study Buddhism, they read sutras and read books. And for you novices, let me remind you, we have a very special program. And according to our tradition, okay, you need to spend time learning about the fundamentals. Meaning that when I was my time, I was told that by the Chinese tradition, I had to spend 5 years within a temple learning about precepts. No sutras, no meditation. But they were afraid to lose me. That's why they let me meditate. But because they were afraid to lose me, that's why I left anyway. They lost me anyway. If I'm not good enough, I can't hang on to you anyway, so why should I be afraid to lose you? Huh? Think about it. Why should you hang on to losers on the other hand? Huh? So, so pay attention, okay? This is, to me, such a beautiful thing. Back then, I didn't understand. I was grumbling. I said, I want to meditate. And you stop meditating. Then why the heck did I shave my head for? Okay? And they never could address it for me. Okay? But anyway, what it's telling me is that you need to learn the proper fundamentals first. Unlike lay people, we can't tell them to do that. But you, left-form people, you trainees in the new life of as a Sangha, you need to have the proper fundamentals. When you say you're told to teach, to learn about precepts, for example, you basically are an idiot. So shut up. Clam up and learn. You're supposed to learn. Your prior knowledge, whoever you are, means nothing. Because precepts are a different world. Okay? So keep that in mind. I don't care if you're a professor and you're a president, well, except for my president. Okay? Yeah. You start from square one. And yes, I'm patient. I'll give you time for your body to get better first before I make you carry burdens. Not I'm ignoring you, I'm patient with you. All right, so this, as I teach more and more, and I go back to the fundamentals of how the Chinese used to do it in China, that tradition, I really begin to appreciate more and more of that. Okay, it's really, really special, folks. And you don't want to mess with it. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to, if they rebel, they say, why are you doing it like I was doing it? Kick them out. They're going to leave anyway. At the time I said to him, all of you good no advisors in Buddhism, you find anything incorrect in this magazine, anything makes no sense, you can, without being polite, come and tell me. So slap my face in front of me, and that is okay. So he's probably referring to that guy, the kid, was reading the Vajrapodisi or something, and he liked it. And it's so Chinese. Yeah. He should have said, this kid was, they leave things fuzzy and make you feel good and blurry. In English, we need to spell it out. He read which magazine? Okay? He could have said he read this Vajrapodisi, this magazine of ours. Probably it's a very lousy magazine back then. It's this beginning of this magazine, so maybe have 2 pages or whatever, 1 or 2 articles. That's why he's embarrassed to mention it. But it's beyond embarrassment. It's about being precise. Okay? And this is what I expect when you speak English. Okay? You drop one word. That's when I catch you. Because I expect you to be better than that. It's just like you prescribing medicine and you tell them to, you forget to tell them the time when they're supposed to take it. Some medicine you're supposed to take after you eat. Some you're supposed to take before you eat, and you conveniently forget to tell them when to take it. Medicine's no good. Be careful. I expect that from you. So he says, you read this magazine, I interpret this. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry. This is all I've got to go with, okay? Because this doesn't make sense to me. And it says, you boy, you read my magazine, my Vajrabodhi C magazine. You find something wrong, you can slap me in the face because I'm responsible for it. Okay? It doesn't bother me. And because he doesn't even say that if this kid is wrong or not. He doesn't care. He says, if you think it's wrong, you can beat me up. Kind of interesting to me. Okay? And I accept this kind of guidance from you. Reactions. Make sense? Doesn't make sense. Okay, so it makes sense to you. Then I won't go into it. Okay? And however, you're only allowed to beat me. You're not allowed to beat my disciple because they are the one who translate or whatever. Okay? In the future, I will beat Master Shenhua instead of beating his disciples. Thank you, Master. Okay, I've been wrong. I've been doing it wrong. Master Shenhua, you really suck. You're not allowed to beat them. You come and tell me in good manner, but you cannot hit them, okay? Even if they say something wrong, you can come and tell me, okay? But you cannot hit them. I don't know how they translate English, Chinese into English. Is that what did I interpret properly or from Chinese? Okay. Yes, too.
Beautiful, Master. I don't know that how it sounds, but it doesn't sound. How can I say that? It's like a kid. The father said, "Yeah, if my kid do something wrong, then you can tell me, but don't touch my kid." You know, that's what I try to understand. It doesn't look good.
Doesn't look good?
Yeah.
So it's okay to beat, for people to beat your disciples? Then don't become a monk. I retract it. For the record, if your wife asks, I say, I never suggested you shave your head. You're not good enough. You don't know?
I never have that kind of protection, so I never feel that.
So it's okay for them to beat up your kid?
It's not that, but for a father to say that if my kid doesn't do anything wrong, right, then you just tell me, and then don't beat up my kid. You know, like you send them to the school, you tell the teacher, beat them up. If it doesn't behave, then beat them up. That's what I normally hear.
And go to jail?
No, in Vietnam you can beat them up, But here saying that if they didn't behave or that they do something wrong, then don't touch them. Just tell me. It's like overprotected. It's just my opinion because you learn something, you have to. People gonna say that you're wrong, and then you learn from the mistake, Instead of you have your father to protect you all the time. I didn't have that, so it doesn't.
Just because you have a bad father doesn't mean that. Yes, Mataji, what do you think? It's okay to let you not to allow people to beat your kids? Like Master Shinhwa? This Republican here disagrees. I'm also Republican, by the way.
To me, I think they can, if they try to beat his disciple, and then in a way it can help the disciple grown up. But in another way, in the other side, they can create karma for themselves. So it's good and bad on the both sides. So if in the way that if Master Shinhwa want to protect the Sami, so to help him not to create karma, and then he shouldn't do that. But from the point of helping his own disciple to grow up, so he can let that happen.
So for you, it's okay either way?
No, it's for the sake of the Sami, he shouldn't do that.
So you agree with Master Shinhwa? You have to speak clearly.
Yes.
I asked for your opinion. What do you think of this behavior? The other guy, he says, I disagree. And you say, you're not clear. I see where you're going, but you need to say, I agree, I disagree. Okay? Communicate very clearly.
So I agree with Master Shinhwa in this case. For the Samini, he shouldn't beat his disciple.
There you go. Doesn't mean you're right, but you at least state it clearly. Okay? It's not about right and wrong, it's about communicating clearly. Don't worry about right and wrong so much. That's your weakness. Okay. I don't care. Beat him up, I don't care. It's not my disciple. I can't care less. I can't care less. You beat him, you kill him. Oops. Way mountain.
Thank you, Master. To me, this is one of the more American things Great Master Shenhua has said in this Dharma talk.
Yeah?
It reminds me of the classic American comedy movie Animal House about two competing fraternities. And one of the fraternities starts hazing the other fraternity's pledges. And so the fraternity says, hey, they can't treat our pledges like that. And the other guy says, yeah, only we can treat our pledges like that. So to me, there's an implicit contract in what Great Master Shenhua is saying. He's saying, you can't beat my disciples. Only I can beat my disciples. That's the way it comes across to me.
American movies are very deep. The Chinese is shaking their heads. Oh, no. That's why I like to watch movies. Yes, DTT.
Vì Đạo Phật, con nghĩ cái tư tưởng Hòa Thượng là đánh tôi chứ đừng đánh đệ tử tôi đó. Là một cái tư tưởng rất là cao thượng. Con tôi làm tôi chịu trách nhiệm. Quý vị đánh tôi chịu trách nhiệm. tôi lo tôi dạy nó mà nó không xong, nó không làm đúng thì trách nhiệm cái lỗi của tôi. Cũng như ở Mỹ mình thấy có nhiều cái chuyện xảy ra đó, là cái vị trưởng phòng nó từ chức. Bên Nhật cái chiếc xe lửa nó đụng tai nạn rất là lớn thì ông bộ trưởng giao thông từ chức. Tức là con tôi nó làm sai thì trách nhiệm của tôi dạy con không đúng, tôi dạy sai, tôi không có đủ cái chất lượng, tôi đứng ra chịu trách nhiệm. Do tôi sai thì bằng chứng bên Tây Phương mình cũng có những cái chuyện mà lớn xảy ra đó. Các vị bộ trưởng hoặc là cái vị lớn trưởng phòng đó, người ta từ chức. Mà rõ nét nhất là bên Nhật đó, con để thấy những cái chuyến xe lửa đụng nhau mà lớn mà chết chóc nhiều tai nạn đó, thì ông bộ trưởng giao thông từ chức. Không phải lỗi của ông, nhưng mà trách nhiệm. Thành ra cái tư tưởng Hòa Thượng rất là cao thượng, rất là quân tử, chứ không phải mà nó làm mà đánh nó, cái đó là đương nhiên rồi. Nó ở tù, nó làm bậy nó ở tù, nhưng mà ông bộ trưởng đó, ông lớn đó phải từ chức. Chứng tỏ mình điều khiển sai. Cũng như bây giờ Việt Nam nó có những chuyện ông dưới làm sai, ông thủ tướng phải bị mất chức. Trách nhiệm của ông. Ở đây là cái tư tưởng lớn chứ không phải là sai đánh người này người kia. Xin hết. Cũng như ở Mỹ mày cũng bên đây cũng vậy. Ví dụ thằng nhỏ lấy đá nó chọi vô cái nhà cái bên đó, phá. Cha mẹ nó qua xin lỗi cái nhà cái bên đó, là con tôi chịu trách nhiệm xin lỗi ông bà. Rồi chiến thiện nó làm chuyện lớn, nhà nước đưa đi giáo hóa hay cái gì đó, chuyện của nhà nước đối với luật pháp với nó, nhưng mà người cha người mẹ phải qua xin lỗi hàng xóm. Con tôi lấy đá chọi ông bà làm hư hại, tôi xin chịu trách nhiệm, tôi xin lỗi.
Amitabha Master. So I think to me that Master Shenhua, when he said don't beat up my disciple, you can beat me, is that this is the person with great mind, superior mind, is that my subordinate, my son, whatever he did, I will be responsible for it. My responsibility is to teach my son. So if my son did it wrong, that means that this is my responsibility. I have not completed my responsibility. So I stood up and I am responsible for my wrongdoing. Just like in the Western, there's a lot of things happen when the subordinate do something wrong. So then the manager is the one who take responsibility. He actually resigned. Doesn't mean that he himself did it wrong, but he resigned because of the responsibility. So in Japan, when you see that whenever there is a train accident, then the director of transportation he himself resigned. Doesn't mean that it's his fault, but it is his responsibility. Disregard. Because his subordinate did it wrong. So just like the same thing, like beating up, don't beat up the kid, beat me up. So of course, as a director, as a minister, they themselves has to resign to show that the subordinate did it wrong. So just like in Vietnam, if the subordinate of the minister did it wrong, the minister bear responsibility. This is the person with the great mind, with great responsibility. Here in America, when you have children, if the children throw rocks at people's house and break the window, the father, the parents are responsible for it. And their responsibility is to come and apologize to the owner of the house. Whatever happened to the kid, they have to go to the school, to a military school, or to correct his action. That's him.
Okay, that's next slide says it all. That's his conclusion, because if you hit them, my disciples will be afraid and they will not dare practice the Buddha Dharma anymore. So I'm responsible. Okay, so meaning that whatever that's translated in that magazine from his disciples, if it's wrong, if you don't like it, it's Master Hsuanhua's fault. Okay, so yes, Shifu, you really suck. As I said, I need to say it again. It's terrible, the way you left it for me, for the English-speaking people. Okay? And I really don't understand why he's talking about this, because practically this is just a novice guess. In our world, novices don't count. We can't care less if they leave or they stay. Not at all. Okay? And they have to prove themselves. And that's actually what his disciple told me. He dared tell me that. His senior said, you know, when you're a novice, you're not as important as lay people. Why not? Because lay people give us money. You are a burden. Thanks a lot. So that guy is gone now. Yeah, there's a responsibility here, but I wish he raised his standards more, and because basically this is a problem I see. The language skills are not there, and he's totally dependent on these people for the English translation, and whatever they do for him, I think it could be improved. Okay, because it's a recurring problem with us. I depend on Vietnam people to translate for me because I don't have time to translate anymore. Okay, and yes, it's my fault that you don't get the proper translation. Same thing. I have people translate into Chinese for me. I'm pretty sure some of the Chinese translations are incorrect as well. But that's the way it is. Okay. Difference is that I'm aware of my limitations, but I'm not afraid they leave or not. Not at all. It's light a burden for me. Okay. And unlike him, I don't have to propagate Mahayana. That's what patriarchs do. Do I look like a patriarch to you? Do I sound like a patriarch to you? Okay, next section, I guess. Okay.
五大宗，就是禅宗、教宗、律宗、密宗、净土宗。这是在中国盛行的佛法。
There are 5 great schools. These are Chan School, Teaching School, Vinaya School, Secret School, and Pureland School. This is the Buddha Dharma that is widely practiced in China.
Yeah.
这五宗分而言之是五宗，合而言之是一宗。
These 5 schools, spoken of separately, are 5 schools. Spoken of together, they are one school.
再说显明一点，就是没有宗，没有派。为什么呢？我常常讲，你要有一个宗，就有了边际，有了限度；没有宗是没有边际，没有限度。
To further explain in a simple and clear way, there is no school, no sect. Why? I often say, if you have a school, then there is a boundary and limit. Without a school, there is no boundary and limit.
为什么又说分而言之是五宗？分呢是分类，一类一类，有五个种类。那么合而言之，就是一个。
Why is it said, when spoken of separately, that there are 5 schools? Separately means classification. Dividing them into types, one by one, there are 5 categories. But when spoken of as a whole, it is just one.
禅教律密定这五宗都是一家人，没有一个彼此的分别。
Chan, teaching, Vinaya, secret, and Pureland. These 5 schools are all one family, without a distinction between one another.
这叫合而言之，是一种。那么又说没有宗，这个佛法是无始无终的，无内无外，无大无小，无高无低。
This is called, when spoken of as a whole, they are one school. Then it is also said that there is no school. This Buddha Dharma has no beginning and no end, no inner and no outer, no great and no small, no highs and no lows.
好吧，这是一个整个的佛教啊，平等平等。
This is Buddhism in its entirety, level and equal, level and equal.
那么不明白佛法的，就说啊，禅宗是最好，或者教宗是最妙。
So, those who do not understand the Buddha Dharma just say that Chan school is the best, or that the teaching school is the most wonderful.
或者律宗是最上的，或者密宗是最深的，或者净土宗是最方便的。
Perhaps the Vinaya school is the most supreme. Perhaps the secret school is the most profound. Perhaps the Pureland school is the most expedient.
其实都是一样的啊。这个仁者自称分别啊，禅的啊，就认为其他的四宗是不对了。
Actually, they are all the same. This benevolent one, you yourself give rise to discrimination. Those who practice Chan think the other four schools are incorrect.
那么小教的认为其他的四宗也不对了。
Those who study the teachings think the other four schools are also wrong.
啊，持戒律的也认为其他的四宗都不对。
Those who uphold the Vinaya also think the other four schools are wrong.
修密宗的也认为其他的四宗都不对。
Those who practice secret school also think the other four schools are wrong.
啊，修净土宗的更是执照啊更厉害啊，说只有啊念佛法的是最圆满的，最直接。
Those who practice the Pureland school are even more attached, more extreme, saying, only the Dharma of reciting the Buddha's name is the utmost perfect and complete, most direct.
他是横超三界，带业往生。
It is horizontally transcending the three realms, carrying one's karma to rebirth.
什么叫横超三界呢？他说，一般的佛法是速修。
Why is it called horizontal transcendence of the three realms? He said, ordinarily, the Buddha Dharma is practiced through vertical cultivation.
就好像那个竹子啊，那个虫子在那个竹子里边，这个虫子啊
Just like that bamboo, that worm is inside the bamboo, that worm.
你要是横的把这个竹子咬破了，就可以钻出去；你要是一节一节的来咬，这就好像修其他的法门，这是数超三界。
If you bite through the bamboo horizontally, then you can crawl out. If you bite segment by segment, this is like practicing other Dharma doors. This is transcending the three realms vertically.
数超三界就是由凡夫四王天、忉利天、夜摩天，这么一层一层修上去。
Transcending the three realms vertically, that is, from ordinary beings, through the heaven of the four heavenly kings, the heaven of the 33, and the Yama heaven, we cultivate and go up, level by level.
他认为这是很麻烦的，初禅、二禅、三禅、四禅，是吧？需要很多时间。
He thinks this is very troublesome. The first dhyana, second dhyana, third dhyana, and fourth dhyana. This requires a lot of time.
唯独念佛 这横潮将那个虫子啊，从那个竹筒子里边，打横刻出去。
Only the Buddha name recitation, this horizontal transcendence, is like that worm which bites from inside, through the bamboo tube, horizontally.
带业往生，你这个有什么业障都可以啊，带到极乐世界往生去了。这样说。
Transcending the three realms horizontally and carrying one's karma to rebirth, any karmic obstructions you have, you can take to the land of ultimate bliss and be reborn there. This is what he says.
那么其实啊，无论你哪一宗，你要不修行啊，哪一宗也没有用。
So actually, no matter which school you are in, if you don't cultivate, then none of these schools will be of any use.
你哪一宗你要能修行到极点，也都有它的妙处，有它的好处，有它的上处，有它的深处，有它的方便处。
Whichever school you are in, if you can cultivate to the utmost, they all have their own wonderful aspects, their own beneficial aspects, their own superior qualities, their own depths, and their own expedience.
都有的那么人不圆用的人就说我的好，你的不好。
They all have these. So, a person who is not well-rounded would say, mine is good and yours is not.
圆用的人是没有门户之见，没有一个禅教律密境这五宗都没有，他是一个由始至终。
A person who is perfectly fused does not have sectarian views. There is not a single sect of Chan teachings, Vinaya, esoteric, nor Pureland. Of these 5 sects, not even one of them exists.
这一代佛教
These are the entire teachings that the Buddha taught during his lifetime, from the beginning to the end.
都是佛所说的84000法门，也是教化众生。
However, the 84,000 Dharma doors that the Buddha spoke was to teach and transform living beings.
84000法门。
That's enough. It's too long. Any questions? Reminds me of seeing a movie. Okay. It's so much I have to go through to teach people. I'm glad I'm not a paycheck. The 5 great schools: Chan school, teaching school, Vinaya school, secret school, and Pureland school. That's Chinese Buddha Dharma. And we should be grateful when the Chinese have those 5 schools. And Master Hsuan brought them all here. Chan school, teaching school, not so much, a lot. Vinaya school, not so much. Secret school, a lot. Pureland school. So his weakness is Vinaya school. But it doesn't mean he does not understand Vinaya school. It's just that I don't think he spent enough time, spend enough time explaining Vinaya schools. That's why when I joined them, they had to invite Dharma masters from Taiwan when they had their own full ordination to come in and explain Vinaya to them. Okay, it's by tradition, and I feel that those people actually know the Dharma, the Vinaya marks, but they don't understand the Vinaya substance. Okay, and to me, this is one of the weaknesses of Master Hsuan's Buddha Dharma. He never put enough emphasis on Vinaya marks, and that's why none of his disciples, especially monks, really understands Vinaya marks at all. Okay, and for some reason, the first thing I did, as I said, I want to become fully ordained so that I can go and learn the precepts. For some reason, I think it's got to be from him. Okay, and this is a glaring, this is a gaping hole in my generation. Master Hsuan understands the substance of the Vinaya school. He may not know, may not have spoken extensively about the Vinaya marks. However, if you were to, in my opinion, if you were to come to him and ask him about the Vinaya, certain Vinaya teachings, I'm darn sure that he can explain to you what it really means. Okay? But for some reason, he never really explained that much to them, except for he taught them only the Shamini and Shamini precepts. Okay, he taught it himself, but he never taught us Bhikshu precepts, Bhikshuni precepts, and so forth. Okay. Oh, by the way, you new people, whether novices or people who've not been through our training program, you need to study Master Hsuan's novice precepts booklet. It's pretty good. Okay, so that's the only Vinaya teaching he has. Okay, and it's okay. I can understand why. He wouldn't spend so much time on it. But he should have told his disciples to go and study. If they really want to be the Dharma heir, okay, they have to go study the marks. And Master Hsuan may have not transmitted to them the Dharma marks, but he transmitted to them the Dharma substance, the Vinaya substance only. Okay, so their understanding is half-assed. Because the Dharma marks later on, it says Vinaya school is beautiful. It has its own wonderful insights for the practice. If you want to train people, you have to understand Vinaya. Okay? Anyway, so he brought the 5 schools here. And there's no doubt in my mind that he masters all the 5 schools. That's why he's recognized as a Tripitaka master. And none of his disciples can be deemed to be a tripitaka master at all. And that's death of Chinese Buddhism. Okay? The 5 schools from China are very profound. They're very incredibly powerful. And he brought them here. Okay? And so it's only found here. The essence of the Mahayana is only found here in the US. That's his message to all of us. Okay? The 5 schools spoken separately are 5 schools. However, there's just one school. How do you explain that? He says, no school, no sect. Pronounce it carefully, Peter. Why? Why not? I often say, if you have a school, there's a boundary and limit. Without a school, there's no boundary and limit. Absolutely. And that's why you pay attention to the monks. Master Xuanhua here, he sets a standard. I don't know why people miss it. Master Xuanhua says, I'm a patriarch. I see no school, no sect, and no sex. You have a question about what? Okay. And I didn't say you can ask. Okay? So he says no school, no sect, and is a boundary limit, and there you go. This is the standard of Chinese Mahayana. You hear? This is what he brought to our country. He says, my Mahayana has no school, has no sect. That's your standards. If you hear anyone who says, I'm a Chan master, hasn't mastered Chinese Mahayana yet. Someone who says, I'm a Pureland master, haven't mastered Mahayana yet. Someone even proclaims to be teaching Chan, Pureland, and parallel, haven't mastered Mahayana yet. Got that? Only Master Xuanhua says, I have no schools. Isn't that cool? So, to me, it's what the clue I use to look at who understands his Dharma or not. Someone says, I'm a Chan person. I don't talk. I don't speak sutras. I don't explain sutras. I only zone. I don't do sutras. Then it's not the whole Mahayana you're practicing. Even within Mahayana, even with the Chan school, you say that I only do breath counting. Uno, dos, tres. Huh? That's not Chan either. Chan is, what do you want to learn? What do you want to practice? I teach you. But don't teach that. Don't practice that. It's no good for you. Because I don't know. So you shouldn't listen to my instructions for that. Yes, what do you want to ask?
마스터, 제가 정토에 대한 잘못된 개념을 갖고 있는지 여쭤보고 싶어서 질문 드리고요. 네.
Okay. Thank you.
The wrong concept about Pureland.
지금 나왔던 거에는 이제 저는 정토에 대해서 어떤 개념을 가지고 있냐면 좀 전에 설명하신 선정, 교정, 뭐 밀종 그런 것들 어떻게 보면 정토로 가기 위한 약간 받침대라는 개념을 갖고 있고, 네.
So the concept about Pureland I have is that the Chan school, teaching school, secret school, all those things is just the support base to go to the Pureland.
그러니까 정토가 가장 상위에 있는 거라고 생각을 하고, 그렇게 생각하는 이유는 일단 마스터께서 이전에 정토를 가르치기 위해서 먼저 선을 가르쳤다라고 말씀하신 적이 있고, 네.
So I think the Pureland is the most supreme concept because the reason I think that way is because you taught us that you teach Chan to teach Pureland.
그리고 이제 제가 잘 제가 좀 말이
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I'm not a good teacher. I only teach Chan and Pureland. I just told you already. You don't have to quote me. Quote Master Shenhua. It's better. Stop. Let's stop it. Okay? Yeah. I just told you. I'm just a Pureland and Chan master. It's not the same standard as him. All right. So don't quote me. I'm no good. To explain this in a simple, clear way, there's no school, no sect, and there's no boundary. Without school, there's no boundary or limit. Okay? I like this. This is what helped me initially. Okay? It's very good. And again, it's a standard of comprehension. Do you master? What school do you master? If you master all 5 schools and you see they all do the same thing. Okay? That's how you could explain it. Okay? When spoken separate, he should say it here, the 5 schools separately means classification, right? And they are dividing into types, one by one. There are 5 categories. When spoken as whole, it is 1. Okay? So, see, I explained differently for you. It's the same concept. Okay? If you master Chan, okay, then you say Chan is the best. You master Pureland, put it down. Don't tie your arm. You master Pureland, then you say Pureland. You think you master Pureland, you think Pureland is the best. You think you master Chan and Pureland, you say Chan and Pureland are the best. Okay? All right? But if you really understand Vinaya, also understand, then you say Vinaya is the best, and you also understand what's that? Secret school. Secret school is the best. And then, of course, you want to be famous, Dharma master, you have to understand sutras. Therefore, sutra is the best. If so, each one of them is the best to you. Therefore, they're all the same, the best. QED. You don't get QED? It's Latin for end of my demonstration. I just proved my point. Some of you went to math, have a math degree, and you don't understand what QED is? Okay. Okay, so I put it in terms of you say, You talk too much. You master it, you can claim it's the best. I have no problems. Okay? But he also brought to our country, and you master chant, you master song, no problem. You song is the best. But also, the Buddha also taught Pureland. Okay? If you see that Pureland is not as good as chant, then something lacking in you. Therefore, you should study Pureland. And you study Pureland, you see Pureland the best, then you're better. And then you study Vinaya and see Vinaya the best. And that's why they all are the best and one and the same. And ultimately, you see best, and then the whole thing is the best. All right. See, that's why I just demonstrated. It took so long. Don't raise your hand. Just take a break. Okay? The whole is one family without distinction between one and another. No, I just demonstrated to you. You really, really understand it's the best. I have no problem with it. Okay? But if you still see that the other one is not the best, there's something lacking in your skills, in your knowledge. That's all. You should be like his standard. They all are the best. That's all I'm trying to tell you. One family without distinction? No. I want you to be different. Okay? Yeah. But harmonious. Time is up. It goes on and on and on. We have one more night tomorrow night for you to ask questions and debate. Okay? But I have to stop tonight unless anyone except for Jumi has a question. Anyone wants to ask Jumi a question? No? See? I gave all of you a chance to ask her. But no one seems to be interested. XS2, would you like to ask Jumi anything? When you still at a safe distance?
Is she coming back soon to JMT?
No. No, she likes it too much here. Okay, thank you everyone. Keep at it, and I hope that you become enlightened soon. And come back and save me, like a Chinese say, okay?